Hi, my name is Steve Jacobson, and this is Denise Lamb, my co-host. It is Denise and not Denise, so please do not confuse that. I might be calling her Den just for short. Anyway, today we are going to be making something, a recipe from Forks Over Knives. And this is a vegan cookbook created by T. Colin Campbell and Caldwell Esselstyn. One is a heart doctor and one is a cancer doctor, and they've done a lot of groundbreaking work on actually improving health through a vegan diet. So today we are going to do a plant-powered polenta pizza recipe on 138. So if you have this book and want to follow along, you can do that. And let's get started.
Stephen, when I hear the word vegan, it makes me a little bit nervous. I'm thinking I'm going to be eating grass and hay and stuff like that. Can you expand a little bit more why this is going to be so much healthier?
Well, that's very good because I recently went through this myself and...
What did you go through, Steve? Did it hurt?
It did. It actually did, because I was thinking like, there's only so many carrots you can eat. There's only so many peas you can eat.
There's only so much grass you can eat.
Are they all going to be like steamed or boiled? You know, is it going to be boring? Will there be any taste?
Right. That's, yeah.
So one of the reasons why I started to follow this, especially after I saw the China study and the movie Forks Over Knives, is I wanted some recipes that are actually going to be something that I would want to taste. Something that would actually taste good, and something I could feed to other people so I wouldn't be an outcast. I mean, who wants to like be known as the vegan that eats stuff that has no flavor?
Well, it's tough when you have vegan friends come over and like, I'm sorry, I'm a vegan, and you don't have anything to feed them, you know. So it might be nice to have a little vegan dish at each family gathering, potluck.
Right, and you don't have to go all vegan, but if you did, a percentage of your diet was more vegan than eating meat or dairy or milk or cheese, then you'd want to do it a few times a week, and it would probably help improve your health. So that's a reason to do it too.
Movements too.
It is true. It does improve bowel movements. Yes, if it's a nice S shape or no, let's not get into that. Anyway, so that's one of the reasons to do it. Veganism, actually, one of the reasons why it's good to go vegan is a lot of times you're cutting out the fats that are more solid, like you'd find in meats, that actually cling to your arteries and cause problems, especially with the heart. The other aspect is if you're doing vegan and you're cutting out a lot of your proteins that come from animals, you're actually lowering your incidence of cancer. They find that whenever you go 20% protein from animals, in the China study, they found that actually kicks off the cancer gene.
All right, but what about people who work out and they need a lot of protein in their diet? I mean, how can you substitute the meat proteins?
One of the big myths is that you can't get enough protein actually eating plant material. And that's just not true. There's a good percentage of protein in a lot of things that people don't even realize. Kale has somewhere between 40 and 60% protein. So does spinach. Spinach is very high. I think it's about 40%.
How about what we're making today? Is there going to be, what's the nutritional balance in what we're making today?
You'll get a little bit in the polenta, a little bit of protein in the polenta. It's not so much about protein. Your body doesn't really require as much as has previously been said.
All right. I just wanted to ask.
But there's also nuts in it. We're making some cheese on the polenta pizza that's actually going to be made out of cashews. And nuts have a good protein profile and also have a lot of healthy fats.
All right, let's get started.
All right, let's do it. First, we are going to create the tomato sauce. It's going to be on top. We're going to use a pound of heirloom tomatoes, We're going to use sea salt, 6 to 8 garlic cloves, and some fresh herbs. Today we're using basil on the pizza. So let's get started.
All right.
All right, so we're going to start off with 2 tomatoes,
No,
which
Steve,
is...
we're not going to do that.
No?
We're
Why?
going to start off with some tomatoes. We're going to start off with a pound of tomatoes. I'm a control freak. And then I'm going to say, Steve,
I know a
you know the
secret.
recipe says a pound of tomatoes.
Yep.
Are we talking 5? Are we talking 1? Are we talking 2?
Interesting.
Good size or
I guess ever
small?
since I was a little kid, I just like knew how much stuff weighed. A pound.
A pound of
No,
tomatoes.
actually, these were kind of pre-weighed, and we did figure out that a pound of tomatoes actually is about 2 medium-sized tomatoes. Oh.
Probably with this.
So we're going to take these and we are going to chop them up so that we can roast them. Roasting adds extra flavor. Okay, Denise is going to go ahead and chop the tomatoes. And over here, we have what is called a salt pig. That's not necessary. That's not necessary for this to have a salt pig, but it's a
These
great
2 little
dispenser.
eyes and yeah.
Denise
can
makes
reach in.
pottery on the side, and she made that salt pig. I'm
Steve,
zooming in on the pan.
Steve, do you remember, am I supposed to, do I put any fat on these?
Nope. One part of the diet is the fact that we don't use added fats when we can.
All right. Well, I'm gonna, whoa, these things are
Or I
sliding
should
all
say
over the place.
we omit it as much as possible.
All right. And I'm gonna take about a teaspoon of sea salt and sprinkle that over the top. I'm using coarse sea salt, but Steve, you think it would be okay to use fine salt?
Yeah, fine salt would be good too. A lot of times I recommend Himalayan sea salt.
All right, I've got my 6 garlic cloves here. I'm gonna, they wanted them peeled. And it said to leave them whole. Sometimes if you want a little more flavor, you can do a little smash. But I'm not gonna do that today. I'm just gonna peel these, little smash to get the skins off. And one more. It said 6 to 8, so. Now that everything's all prepared, I've got the sea salt on the tomatoes, I've got the garlic that's been peeled and left whole. I'm going to put these in a 350-degree oven for 30 minutes. And I'll set that for 30 minutes.
All right, next what we're going to do is we're going to put the polenta into pans. The recipe calls for 2 small pizza pans. We're going to do a little bit of a larger pizza pan, and it also mentions how you make your own polenta. So you get the polenta corn or the cornmeal, and you'd actually heat it up and make your polenta. We're cheating a little bit, and we're using organic polenta from Trader Joe's. And we have 2 here just in case we need a little bit more to cover the bottom of the pan. So let's get started.
All right, that's all lubed up, ready to go.
So we're going to take the polenta out of its package. And it really holds together well. I'm just going to cut it in 2 pieces here. And I'm going to press it into the pan. So what we're trying to do is just press this into the entire thing, not making it too thick, but enough to cover it. And it should bake together to be a nice crust.
Does it look like it's holding together, Steve?
Yes, it does. So you just pulled these out of the oven. They are roasted, and we're going to be actually using this to put on the pizza.
And Stevie, you're going to wash this pan, not me.
That's not nice.
Okay, so now we're going to take the polenta crust. We're going to put it again in a 350-degree oven for another 30 minutes until the edges get a little bit crispy.